Hey, boys and girls. I may have an answer for the whole Zen problem. Okay. Hold on to your hats. A new player here in America is entering the game. It appears Altria is going to be in the mix with a new product called OWN, like ON exclamation plus. Uh, got a new article for you from a rag called Tip Ranks, and it's going to be pretty interesting, in all honesty, to see how this plays out. Don't forget, China has got their versions already on the market. Very, very product. No spitting and the mess and the smell and all this. So I think it's a real upgrade from the Skull Bandits and the like. And so, but are they Zen? If the price is to be believed, maybe, maybe, because they're going to be coming under market with the Chinese, that is, and maybe Altria is too. Okay, so let me show you this article. You tell me what you think. This is pretty important stuff, in all honesty, y'all. So, as we can see here, uh, they're seeking the FDA nod for these new pouches. So, if the FDA approves them as a product that can go on the market, woo, watch what happens to the pricing of what you got. So, be careful buying too much Zen. Altria Group is seeking Food and Drug Administration approval of its new OWN Plus oral nicotine pouches. Altria is a subsidiary of Helix Innovation, submitted the application. The move aligns Altria strategy to expand its smoke-free product offerings. They're focused on meeting consumers' challenging preference via innovation in low-risk products. Now, I don't know, man. I mean, they ain't been on the market long enough to know how much risk there are, because putting nicotine up against the skin for a period of time, I don't know. You always heard of lip cancer and gum cancer and what caused that. If you had the cigarette in your mouth too long, that tends to where, would be. If you had chewing tobacco in your gum and in your cheek, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, okay. I'm not saying that it causes it. I did not say that. I am saying maybe, maybe. I mean, in calling it low risk, a little early in the game for that. But I'm sure the FDA will call it low risk. Nick McPhee, Helix's managing director, believes OWN Plus could become popular in the U.S. market and support the company's growth. Woo! Of course it will, because America likes to buy that kind of things. Altria plans to ramp up investments in promoting its smoke-free products, mainly because they're trying to get rid of the vape and the cloud and all this stuff, and they're trying to get away from the smoking, part of it, for cessation of tobacco smoking. Just understand that as well. Could be part of the vape problem, but there's news about that as well, and I will be talking about that later. During the Q1 conference call, Altria's management said they would spend more on marketplace activities for these products. So they're going to put some money into it. R&D. They're going to talk about flavoring. They're going to talk about pricing. They're going to talk about how they can advertise this. The whole 9 yards. And the company is also investing in research and regulatory prep for smoke-free products. So that means they're working hand in hand with the FDA. And think about that. So if they're working with them, better than butting heads with them. But we're going to know more about that. This strategy shows the growth opportunities in authorized by the FDA smoke-free products for adult tobacco consumers. It also goes on to talk about their it's a solid stock. This is more of a stock brag, and the reason I wanted to talk about it is because we've reported on Zen and the problems with them, and so they're showing more of the growth here. And apparently, Ultra is a dividend aristocrat, which means they give a high yield of 8% or more, for that. And this is a real deal, y'all. And this should be something that we look into, and they got something going on here. And I think what we're going to have to do is look at what's on our shelves, and we're going to have to start asking ourselves if this company comes to be with brings this to market, and what about our Asian brothers and sisters who are producing their own nicotine products, and if they're pushing them into our market, and because they're not a tobacco product, they're still the nicotine tax, because now they're moving away from a tobacco tax to a nicotine tax. And anyway, we have to ask ourselves what makes more sense on the shelves, and what I'm getting at here is consumers like selection. They also like flavors, as we know. And I think it's something that we should be looking at and asking ourselves, what in line of sight behind the counter, so that the children's can't grab it, what should take up that space? And what about displays, and how does those displays look? And because Zen has a nice display, but will Altria put a display in? Chances are. Will the our Asian brothers put theirs in? Maybe. I don't know, because sending displays over is kind of tricky. Now, if they do a US based operation with their product coming in and then they load it here, betcha. Which you can see, that's going to happen. But maybe we start looking at alternative products for the store. And honestly, are we willing to do that? Do we want to put money into it? Because these are going to be low margin items, as we already know through Zen. But these are going to be low margin. And can we afford that on the shelves, with Delta and THCA and the flower, and with coming regulation of the MJ? And if we know this, where are we going to stick our dollars, consumer dollars? And so start thinking about it. Start just turn around and look at your display wall, and behind the counter, for impulse buys and stuff of that nature, and ask yourself, do I got enough room for Ultra's product too? Do they have 50 flavors, or are they only going to have 10? You know, uh, I don't know how many Zen has. Zen has several, but I mean, I don't know how many really move, what the fast moving product is. But ask yourself, are you going to take up spot? And this is going to be nothing but a wall of nicotine pouches, or at least a shelf of nicotine pouches. I don't know. I'm kind of sleeping on the nicotine pouches in my stores. I don't have any, but maybe I need to. Do you have them? Let's think about it. I'm looking at it, and if I wasn't, I wouldn't be reporting. But it's something to think about, and I'm giving it a lot of thought. So maybe you should too.